What is up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video on Lexalexus. Today it is the championship score predictions once again. We know the drill by now. You enter your score predictions in the comments down below and you guys are able to score some points on the Lexalexus Football Prediction League. We've got our like target over there for 25 likes. Now, I actually had the like target on 30 on my last video, which I didn't mean to, but it turned out that the last video did in fact get 30 likes, so I got to thank you guys for fulfilling that target, which was kind of there by accident. But today, now I'm a bit more mindful about the like target being there. Let's go for 25 likes if we can for this video, because that will be absolutely appreciative. So before I get started with my predictions, please smash that like button. It really does help, especially if you go on to enjoy this video today. Please hit the subscribe button if you've not done so. That really helps as well. We're very close actually to 1,600 subscribers. 2,000 subscribers is ultimately our target for 2023. If we can get that, that would be absolutely amazing. And please also share the channel too. All these things really do help the growth of this channel. But without any further ado, because there's a lot to go through, let's start predicting these weekend's games in the Championship. Let's start off with Sheffield United versus Hull City. We've actually got two Friday night games, which is a little bit unusual. We don't normally see two Friday night games, so these games will take place tomorrow. And we'll start off with Sheffield United and Hull, like I said, and definitely two teams polar opposites of the table, but both teams both actually having really good form in their parts as well. Sheffield United, of course, have got a very long unbeaten run. But Hull have also gone on an unbeaten run near the bottom end of the table. Now, Sheffield United have been a lot more frequent at picking up 3 points. But Hull, because they've stayed unbeaten for so long, now that they have seen like that they are a little bit more assured in this season now, they've got a bit of a gap within the relegation pack. And what they'll be hoping is that they can keep picking up brilliant results, they could potentially climb up the table. But what's going to be an interesting test for them now to see if they get their winning or unbeaten run, I should say, halted, are they going to be able to recover? So this will be a really interesting test. Sheffield United don't look like that they're going to be stopped anytime soon. They could even put a performance in second gear and still get 3 points just on the options that they have. As a prediction, I'm going to be very boring, but predict a Sheffield United win. But Hull could shock them, you know, because Hull have been unbeaten for quite a long period of time. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Sheffield United. I think it's going to be quite close, but I think they'll edge it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. The next game today is Burnley West Brom. So this is very interesting. We've got Burnley, who are just winning game after game. Don't look like they're getting stopped. But West Brom have got the second longest consecutive win run. So this is going to be a very interesting contest here between these two teams. I mean, the reverse fixture, it was just a complete write-off for West Brom, really. And actually, in a reverse fixture, they did not play that badly against Burnley, actually. They gave them quite a game. And this was a West Brom team where they were in turmoil and were in a real lull of their confidence and in their performance. So now that they've got this confidence and now they are exactly where they want to be, I think that's going to be a very interesting game for Burnley and could potentially be a banana skin game for them as well. Burnley have just been grafting. They've been able to find a way still to get wins for this long period of time, hence the gap that they got. The interesting part now, are they going to be complacent? Are they going to put their foot off the gas, as it would say, and then potentially not perform right at their best? I know what I would rather. I would rather keep going and securing promotion early, and then when that happens, you could start potentially rotating things around, getting the whole squad a chance. But it's still very intense, you know. It's still not impossible for teams to even still catch up with Burnley. I mean, I'm holding any hope that I have with it being a competitive top part of the table. But as a prediction, once again, I'm going to be boring, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 Burnley win. I don't think there'll be many goals, actually. And I think it will just be a really dirty win for Burnley, but it will be close. I definitely think West Brom will make it very interesting. but I do see the Clarice edging out here. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game today is Coventry Norwich. So, Coventry have struggled with their form quite recently. They are winless, I believe, in their last 5 games. So, they've definitely fallen off in terms of their form and momentum. Norwich, is very difficult to judge them, but in terms of first impressions go, David Wagner could not have had a better start with his Norwich team, demolishing a Preston team by 4-0 and actually looking very, very confident in an attacking sense, which will be very interesting going into this game. Now, Coventry at the CBS in general do have a stronger record than they do away from home. But having said that though, based on performances recently, and I do think Coventry have got some players missing, I just think, in my opinion, of the availability of players and the performances out of late, I'm going to edge Norwich by 2-0. It feels like if Norwich score early, then I think Norwich will wrap this up. But I think the longer it stays 0-0, it could potentially swing to a 1-0 Coventry win. So it's very much a game that's in the balance for me. But I'm going to go for a 2-0 Norwich win. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Birmingham versus Preston. Now, these are two teams not in great form at all. Birmingham have really fallen off the table completely. They've had 4 straight defeats. So looking so promising at one stage, Birmingham. And now all of a sudden their form's fallen off a cliff. But Preston, to be honest, not doing much better. Only 1 win in 5 and 4 defeats in 5. So Preston and both Birmingham really need to sort out their form. There definitely are 2 teams that should be placed higher based on the players that they do have in that squad. Both have been teams that have made January investments already. So I'm going to be interested to see that dynamic unfold. But as a prediction, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. But I was either going to go for 1-1 or a 2-1 Preston win. It feels like Preston still can pick up a load of away points. It's their home record that Preston struggle with. But with Birmingham, we typically see them play well at home. So it's a very weird conundrum this. But I'm going to go for a 1-1 and I'm going to compromise. So no one's going to get 3 points in this game. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game today is Blackpool versus Huddersfield. So I said in my intro that there was a lot to talk about. And Blackpool is one of those teams that we need to really talk. Because Michael Appleton was dismissed out of yesterday. I mean, I probably should have expected this, but the timing of it was very, very bizarre, if that made sense. But I'm wondering if maybe that the owners have timed it right before this game, ensuring that they'll be hoping that Blackpool pick up 3 points. This is a must-win game for both Blackpool and Huddersfield. They are 23rd and 22nd respectively. If any one of them picks up 3 points, they've got a really good chance actually of getting out of the bottom 3. So the stakes are really high for both of these teams. I would say with performances, I have a bit more confidence in Huddersfield recently. But with Blackpool dismissing Appleton, I know they're linked with McCarthy, but I don't think he'll be manager before Blackpool play Huddersfield. Knock on wood, that may not happen. We'll have to wait and see. It depends how quick they're going to be getting them in. But I think they've planned this hoping that the Blackpool players are going to play with a little bit of more of an edge and desire following that Appleton is now no longer in charge. So as a prediction, I'm actually going to expect Blackpool to have that effect and win by 2-1. I think it's definitely one that is going to be very unpredictable. I think a lot of people are going to predict different things in that game. I'm going to pretty much go on the basis that I think Blackpool will respond well based on Appleton leaving. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Bristol City going up against Blackburn Rovers. So Bristol City may feel a bit more fatigued because they put out a pretty strong team for what I saw in the lineup against Swansea in their FA Cup replay. And it went to 120 minutes as well. So it was a long-winded game, but 116th minute winner takes Bristol City through to the next round of the FA Cup, which I believe will take place next week actually. So not far away when the FA Cup coverage is going to be back on our TV screens. Blackburn really need all the help that they can get because they're struggling with their form right now. And Bristol City picked up their first win in 8 matches, I believe it was, when they beat Birmingham as well by 4-2. A result that not many people saw coming, but they did. They really actually deserved it based on their second half performance. First half I thought they were a bit fortunate to lead, but second half they actually earned it. So I was really pleased that Bristol City seemed to have many things clicking for them. As a prediction for this game, I'm actually going to go for a back-to-back Bristol City win. You know, we typically see this with Bristol City keeping long streaks of either good or bad form. I think we are going to see a positive tide occurring for Bristol City now, and I'm going to go for a 3-2 victory to Bristol City. I think we'll see goals. I think both teams' defences need a lot of work, so therefore I'm going to see a lot of goals from both teams. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game today is Cardiff Millwall. So Cardiff, I think, are going to be the only other team, I mean, as of recording at least, Blackpool and Cardiff have not appointed a new manager in charge of their clubs yet. But things can happen very, very quickly in a short space of time, and before we know it, we could see Blackpool and Cardiff have permanent managers before this weekend's games. And Cardiff, it'll be interesting to see how well they respond. They also played in the FA Cup midweek replay as well against Leeds United. Lost out by 5-2 yesterday, but their squad that they had was definitely not a first team squad. So clever on their part, they're rotating their squad, giving some young players a good opportunity in that competition. They were heavily beaten, but that should mean that their first team players are going to be well refreshed going into this game against Millwall, where Millwall in general have just been right up there in terms of the top 6, but they feel like they're one win away of securing it, and then they lose it, and then they drop back down again. So Millwall got to bridge that gap and find some consistency in, because they definitely have got the potential for it. As a prediction, however, I think Cardiff at home are much better away from home. Millwall have been a bit hit and miss with their away record. I'm actually going to go for a 0-0 draw. I've not predicted many 0-0 draws, and we do get the odd couple 0-0 draw now and again, and I'm going to nominate this game to unfortunately take the biscuit of a 0-0 draw. I think it will be a draw. I've just decided to put it as a 0-0 draw, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game today is QPR versus Swansea. So QPR didn't have to play midweek, but Swansea did, and devastatingly for them, they had to lose against Bristol City as well. Their first team wasn't as strong as Bristol City's. It definitely featured first team players. Perot was there, Nutsham was there, Lobotier, they were all there, but there definitely were some other players in that squad that won't be typically considered as a first team Swansea player. So it was definitely half strong, half rotation. So maybe Swansea could get more freshness out of it than what their opponent Bristol City are going to have going into this game. I do think it's going to be very tight, I'm really excited actually, because I think both play in a somewhat similar way. QPR, I'm still yet to see if they are adapting well to the way that Critchley plays football, because it is quite a contrast. And QPR have not got that level of consistency yet that I'm used to seeing for them. But I think give it time and we could potentially see a really good team on our hands. And I think with Swansea, we are definitely seeing a positive tide with their results recently. So we'll see if they can keep this up. But as a prediction, however, based on the fatigue I think Swansea are going to have, I don't think they're going to have enough to win, but I think they'll be able to get something out of it. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I'm going to sit on the fence for this one. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. We've also got Stoke versus Reading. So I think with Stoke right now, they really need a positive response. But I will dare say in their recent games, I actually felt Stoke were quite unlucky to not get any points out of it. They are definitely in a very perilous situation right now. Their form is not great really to have 3 defeats in a row, and they are only 4 points above the bottom 3 as well. So the distance between them and being in danger is very small, and any point counts really. And they're facing a Reading team where they don't really have anything to play for really at this moment of time, unless Reading gets some consistency and they can start climbing up the table back into the top 6 again. I don't think that will happen, but as a prediction, however, Stoke need to win. Reading don't really have to, but they probably will try to. I'm going to go for 1-1 again. I can't decide, so by default, if I can't decide, it's going to be a 1-1 draw. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game today is Watford versus Rotherham. So, Watford picked up a great result against Blackpool. They had to be very, very patient. They definitely weren't probing him in the first half. Second half, they started to get their attacking line together. And I think they're coping well with the injury list that they've got as well. So, all credit to Watford, and especially Slaven Bilic, of finding ways to basically use the players available to make sure that it's still a highly attacking and highly unpredictable team. Rotherham, however, picked up a really good result last week against Blackburn Rovers. But my issue is, can they do that away from home? You know, Rotherham have not picked up many away wins. I believe, actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but I only remember Rotherham winning one away game all season, and I think that was against Stoke City. So, honestly, Rotherham do not win away from home often, and I think this is going to be another bit of their downfall for the season. And I think with Watford, how comfortable they are at Vicarage Road, I think they're going to win by 2-0. So I think their clean sheet record will continue, and I think it'll be a relatively comfortable one. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Wigan Luton. So these two sides meet again because they had to play against each other in the FA Cup replay. This game also went to extra time, 120 minutes, and it was Luton Town that managed to get the bragging rights to win by 2-1 despite going behind in this game. So great mentality for Luton to eventually going through to the next round in the FA Cup. With this, however, I think this game's much more important for Wigan than it is for Luton. Luton can definitely potentially miss a couple of results and still have a good chance of getting into the top 6. They narrowly lost out in their top 6 rivals against West Brom, and I thought they played quite well. Wigan, they do have one of the worst home records in the league though, so I'm not confident with Wigan. I'm still a bit on edge on Kolo Toure managing, to be honest, and as a prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-0 away victory to Luton Town. I think it's going to be a pretty routine win for them. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Final game to predict is going to be the Times Square derby between Sunderland and Middlesbrough. So I'm really intrigued again. I believe that it was a really, really close game actually last time that they played against each other at the Riverside. This time it'll be at Stadium of Light, and I do think this is going to be a very tough test for Middlesbrough and Michael Carrick. Middlesbrough have typically looked like a team that have just looked like they're then, impossible to stop. But Millwall did give them a really, really hard time actually trying to break them down. I think with the Sunderland team, they'll definitely be a lot more expansive with their attack. And I think their organisation is actually one of the best in the Championship. So it's going to be a very interesting contest. I think it'll be feisty. I think we'll see some really big challenges. Could see some big decisions influencing the game. And a big decision did influence the game for Sunderland and Swansea, as they managed to lose Luke O'Nien to a red card. He won't be available for this game, which could be a loss for Sunderland's part in terms of their first team. As a prediction, it'll be close. I really want to back Sunderland because I do think it will be a typical Championship result. But I'm going to go for 2-1 Middlesbrough win. I'm going to be very boring and safe, I think, with my predictions this week. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. So guys, these are my predictions done for the Championship. So this is going to be released to you today on the Thursday. And what I'm going to do is one of two things. I'm either going to comment below my Premier League predictions and you can reply to those to leave your Premier League predictions, or I'll be able to have the time to make a Premier League predictions video tomorrow. It really is going to depend how tired I am as I'm recording this at 12 in the morning. So it's one of those things. I'm going to have to find a way around it. But if you guys enjoyed it, please give the video a like. If you just want to see out the channel, please do hit that subscribe button if you've not done so. And please share the channel too. All these things really do help. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary. It's on the end of this video. And as always, I'll see you guys soon. Take care, everyone.